there was only a cloud of gas and dust. From these, the sun and planets were formed. Our planet was a massive boiling cauldron of particles. Over time, the particles cooled, and four main elements emerged on its surface: water, fire, air, earth.
Hello, good people of the internet. Today we're going to be playing Doodle God Universe, which will be coming out soon. This is still in early access, and thanks to devs for providing a key. What is Doodle God? If you played it many years ago, it came out originally as like a iPhone or Android game. And the basic premise is you, I guess if we go into the basics, it made me do something before I could even start the video. You are given elements. There are elements in the world, and you have to combine the elements to create new elements, which, I mean, they don't really become elements, they just become other things, but the game calls them elements. So, for example, what it made us do is it combined fire and earth, and it gives you these four. So there's fire, earth, or soil and metals as a group. You can tell maybe some things are a bit unnecessary, like why clicking that took me back. Anyway, so there are these four groups that it starts you with: water, air, fire, and soily stuff. And having combined earth and fire, I now have lava as a new element. How is this different from the original game that was on iPhone, Android, mobiles type things? Well, if I combine, I don't know, fire and water, maybe we'll get steam.
Me lucky.
And you get a voice which sounds like Morgan Freeman, even though it probably isn't him. Most likely isn't him. With a nice quote from someone: "Burning off steam always produces more heat than light," from Mr. Maxwell here. And then if you click on the go to planet, you get a nice thing showing you, hey, look, there's steam here. And it looked a lot better when they showed me this volcano for the lava. But anyway, it's like fully 3D, planet here with cool animations. Let's see if we can create some more. So I know what happens if you... Okay, so the steam is now in the air. What happens if you mix, I don't know, earth and air?
A worthy conception.
Dust. A peck of March dust is worth a king's ransom, apparently. I mean, dust might not be that interesting. It'll just look like steam, but a bit more brown. Well, there you go. Cool. And you can, like, zoom in and twist around it. Anyway, so we have a little dust doll. And, if I don't know what else to do now. Mix fire and dust.
What a creative spark.
Ash. Ashes to ashes. So there you go. Our volcano is now spewing out some ash. And the idea is that it's so there's 8 of 100. So there's still 92 to find. Sometimes they make logical sense. Sometimes they make a bit less logical sense. I think it may just turn into trial and error to be like, which things haven't I done yet? Can I remember if I've done fire and air? What's fire and air?
I say I'm impressed.
Energy. Is fire and air energy? To me, energy comes before both fire and air, but it starts you off with the elements. Anyway, so now that we have energy, the mind is the essence of life. Fine. But also, it didn't allow me to see it on the thing. I clicked off of it. if I do it again, what happens if I do it again? So it says energy. You get more score for it for no reason. Is it because I did it the other way around? I don't know what it means by time killer, just the fact that I've been playing it for a while and talking through it. I mean, it doesn't know that I'm talking, but yeah, and if we mix lava and air.
Oh, yes.
Stone. So yeah, I guess that makes sense. And if we go to the planet, then we have stones. Now, I would have thought sometimes it will come up with the same result. So what happens if we choose, well, no, not. We choose water and lava. Should give us stone again? Yes.
Your genius is evident.
So it gives you more score for that. But still. You know, if we start doing energy and fire.
Creativity is your engine.
Plasma, apparently, are by far the most common phase of matter in the universe, both by mass and by volume. So there's this reactions thing. What's reactions? No. It just, okay, it takes me back to the screen. So for some things, it probably in these things which don't actually relate to something physical, then they won't appear in your cool 3D planet. But the idea of the game, because it's kind of a puzzle game, is that you would think, oh, if I put this and this together, it will make this. And some of the problem is that, would you have thought putting, what was it, fire and energy together making plasma? Maybe, but I don't know. Some of them are a bit far-fetched. I don't know. What happens if you put earth and plasma together? Nothing.
What are you waiting for?
Okay, good. Stone lava?
That is against the laws of nature. Use a hint if you got stuck.
So, yeah. I don't know. Something could have happened with one of those things. If you...
Eureka!
We already did that. Right. So, if we just do this, it makes mud.
Stand clear. You're on fire.
Well, I would have gone with mud first. Anyway, so now we have a swamp. And I don't know. Let's try more things with water. Water and air will make rain or something. No, we already have that.
Like an unstoppable locomotive.
Water and ash.
I believe they say holy
Clay.
Smokes.
Does it? Does it though? I don't know. Maybe after a long time. Clay and then left it, and that would be bricks by chance and fortune. Cool. Well, there's a nice little clay island for you. Now, if I start doing like clay and fire, is that going to give me pottery?
Oh, Captain, my
bricks.
Captain.
Close enough. Half trees are like half a brick. They can be thrown farther. Is it going to show me bricks? Some kind of brick building, brick masonry building. Cool. And okay, so now we have crafts. What happens if you have energy bricks?
It's elementary.
But maybe we need to do more things before we can do that sort of stuff. You know, energy and dust. Probably nothing. No. Yeah, I don't think so. Steam energy, turbines, plasma again.
A prodigious discovery.
So yeah, some of them duplicate. Which ones of these ones have we done? Steam and earth.
What are you waiting for?
If you steam a stone. No. I don't know. Trying to put some things together. What happens if you have stones in your swamp?
Oh, wonders then.
You get moss. I suppose. And not quite sure I suppose it's stone. It just looks very shiny. Or is it like ice? Anyway, the green on top is definitely moss. I suppose there's some water underneath there. Maybe it's just the camera angle. Okay, so now we have like simple organisms. And the first thing you should do with simple organisms is burn them. Okay, it just makes ash.
Gracious you.
If you burn something, it just turns into ash. Maybe that makes sense. What were we doing? Oh yeah, swamp. And if I burn the swamp down...
Come on, the world is your own. And cheers to you, I say.
Stone, well, lava and something wet just turns it into stone. Is there anything else we can do with, you know, if we have swamp and dust, like does it turn into a desert?
Use the hint or something.
I mean, there are hints. Do I need hints? I mean, I just try and error play through it. But go on then, give us a hint. Oh no, this is, it tells us there's a history here. Reaction history 11135. These are unique things. And the list of unique elements. Okay, so there's 140 unique elements, but only 135 reactions. Unique reactions. But there are some duplicated. Anyway, so that's the list, apparently. Or you can click this button to get a hint. Does it cost you anything? Nope. Free reaction. Hint automatically performs one random reaction for you. Show groups. Hint shows two groups where some elements may react. Hint shows you elements that could be created from existing ones. Alright, does this remove score? So let's just to see what it does. My score is 1162. I don't know what that did then. So there are some things in this group which can react. So like fire and stone. We didn't do that before, did we?
Oh, yes.
Metal. Maybe. And then if we look on our planet, there is some shiny metal. Cool. Did it change our score though? Okay, so if you click on that, you can just go to your planet. That's cool. But I don't know what this is then. 3. Oh, okay, you can only have so many of those in the whole game. I see. So I maybe just wasted one. Okay. Well, you can go away then. So we did fire and stone. We can do fire and metal now.
Keep
molten metal.
your sights.
Sulfur. Okay. There is definitely some bad science going on in this game. If you melt metal down, it kind of just melts the metal. If there's sulfur, that's just because there was sulfur there. Anyway, that's just no special things on our planet. I know what happens then if you mix fire and sulfur. Nothing.
Use the hint or something.
It really wants you to use those hints. Now if we go back to metals then. Lava metal.
Great.
Quicksilver. Right, well this is what I was expecting with the fire, but I suppose maybe fire wasn't hot enough. Quicksilver is in the hand. Sorry, love is like quicksilver in the hand. Leave the fingers open and it stays. Clutch it and it darts away. And that counts as a metal? No, it's a fluid. Okay. And swamp is also a fluid. Categorization. Anyway, if we do quicksilver, I don't know what happens when we heat that up.
What are you waiting for?
Basic things. I don't know what sulfur and water is. Sulfur.
My oh my.
So now we have some acid. Cool. And now we can, I don't know, mix acid with some things like stone.
That is against the laws
or
of
metal.
nature.
No. Well, I don't think it does much against earth or clay, but whilst I'm here. What can you use acid against? Bricks. I mean, if you do
What are you
acid with
waiting
water,
for?
you get acid rain, maybe? No, you do not. Acid in a swamp. Acid and steam makes acid rain. I don't know why I'm trying to make acid rain.
Come on, the world is your oyster.
Well. Okay. Bricks. Energy. Is there something I could do with energy? Don't know. I feel like I haven't done too much with the air things, so we have steam and air. Oh, sorry, steam with like earth and metal. Steam and metal.
Keep aiming your sights.
Makes a boiler, I suppose. There you go. That boiler probably shouldn't be moving like that, especially through these wooden supports. If you ever see a boiler doing that movement, step away from it, because something bad is about to happen. Okay, so we now have a boiler. What happens if we boil some moss? Clearly nothing. Obviously nothing.
I'm watching you.
Boil some energy. Apply fire. Or sulfur. What?
But that's illogical.
Heat up the boiler. It's started selecting things automatically because I used the keys. Is that selected? No. So yeah, a boiler and some water.
But that's illogical.
Nope. Okay. I don't know, what can you use a boiler for? Steam? I mean, it creates steam. We just went through everything, didn't we? Well, let's not use the boiler then. So what else can we do? We start mixing dust with things. I think we already did fire, right? Yeah, we made ash.
Great. You'll find it. Keep it up.
Dust energy. That doesn't make any sense. We might as well try it. Dust and bricks. Is that going to be like sand or something stupid? Should we be trying to make sand?
That's illogical.
But we would not make sand from bricks. Or if we... Okay, let's... Air and stone then. Where's stone? Surely air and stone would make sand?
You are fully
Yeah,
attuned.
okay. So some of them sometimes are logical. Footprints and the sands of time are never made by sitting down. Very true. Or at least very proverbial. Well, that definitely looks like sand. So our planet is getting more and more things. Right, okay, now we have sand. If we apply fire to sand, we're going to get glass.
You have a phenomenal touch.
Yes. He who lives by the crystal ball soon learns to eat ground glass. And there it is, just sticking out the desert. I assume nothing more will happen if I do like... Okay, that's in there. Sand and like lava. That's just going to turn into glass again. Yep.
Oh, Captain, my Captain.
If we do something like glass and fire, no,
Come on,
and lava
creator.
to like
Use
melt it
your
down.
bones.
What have we got? If you sand, like, because you can sand things down, like if you sand metal down, you end up with some things.
It's time to think.
Can you have soil? Because we have earth. I suppose that is soil. It starts us with that though. Okay, so none of these things mix. Maybe if you start mixing it with bricks, that's enough, like to make cement.
Come on,
Maybe not.
creator. Use your bones.
Or if you mix it with, well, I suppose you could have a sandstorm. So like dust and sand. Steam. dust. Yeah.
You like an unstoppable locomotive.
It's just the same thing. Or if you mix it with water, then you end up with a beach. Clay.
Your wit is boundless.
Apparently. What else we got? Like, so does sand and acid? Like, I don't know. Okay, that also makes the swamp.
Conception.
I don't think sand and acid would do anything, but whilst we're here.
Use the hint or something.
Sand energy, like time, stone.
Set sail, my friend.
If you apply energy to sand, it turns into stone. Okay. I'm not sure I get it, but fine. Simple organisms, moss and clay. Well, we haven't done this. So what happens if we give it water? You give moss some water. No. Or if you put it in a swamp.
You've certainly earned my respect.
If you put moss in a swamp, it turns into ferns, of course. Apparently. I planted some birdseed. A bird came up. Now I don't know what to feed it. Some mighty fine ferns. Okay, so that's plants, but not... So moss counts as a small organism? Okay. And what happens if we, you know, first thing I do with everything, burn it. Burn it with fire. Nope.
Just
burn it with lava. Nope. Fine. If we nurture it then and give it some water, what do we get?
You've got talent.
We have berries. Blueberries, strawberries, and blackberries are true superfoods. Naturally sweet and juicy, berries are low in sugar and high in nutrients. Well, thank you. But berries do not appear on the main game map. That also appears in our plant section. Presumably, you can't feed berries to moss because it doesn't care. No, don't think so.
Keep it up.
And if you water that, because we watered the ferns a second ago, no. Did we put ferns in the swamp? No. And if we put berries in the swamp, that's just silly. If we put berries and acid together, is that going to be poison? Apparently not. Oh yeah, like things like energy. Burns and energy make
You've a taste
a treant. Did you hear about the lazy treant? It just wouldn't work. Unknown. Yes, that's just because it's a terrible joke. Anyway, so now we have mystic creatures, which clearly aren't an element. But anyway, let's burn the mystic creature. Okay, just turns into ash.
Wonders Day.
Yeah. Burning lots of things just turns them into ash. And, okay. I know. Presumably they don't eat berries or ferns.
Oh, no. I'm watching you.
If we give them earth, will they root themselves and, you know, I don't know. Will they make glasses? Like, anyway, maybe we should stop playing with the mystic creatures. Let's go back to berries, because I don't think we... Oh no, we did try and water them.
What are you trying to breed?
Applying energy to berries gives you coffee. I suppose coffees could be described as energy berries in some obscure way. Coffee should be black as night, hot as hell, and strong as love. It sure should be. Okay, so we have that. What else we have? Bricks. Well, okay, we should maybe be trying to make food. So if I do coffees and fire, sorry, berries and fire.
My captain.
I mean, that makes less sense because that should just make a pie, right? Everyone knows that if you start cooking berries, it turns into pies or jam. Anyway, fine. Cook the coffee beans. Nope.
Oh, I'm watching you.
And fine. Plasma is just hot. Sulfur coffee. Sulfur and berries would turn into eggs because eggs are, you know, the sulfurous berries. I don't know. Okay, so maybe if there isn't anything else, what happens if we plant our berries in the earth? No.
Use the hint or something.
And Did we ever do clay and water? I don't know if we did. Is that the swamp? No. Water and glass. What does that do?
A prolific approach.
Ice. Ice is definitely not water and glass. But fine. It looks like glassy water, but anyway. A smile is a powerful weapon. You can even break ice with it. And now we have a nice big iceberg. Where is that situated? Right on the equator. Where is that? Okay, it's not necessarily the equator. Could be the, well, I suppose it depends where the sun is. Anyway, science aside, we now have ice, which means if we, I don't know, this will just give us water, right? Yes.
The verdant green of spring.
But we can now start cooling things down. We'll start with this. If we have steam and ice, no.
That is a
Hail or something?
You have a phenomenal
Snow.
touch.
Close enough. Snow is a magical veil that hides everything ugly, turning any place into a winter wonderland. Where's the snow going to be? Nice. So we've got a nice snowy mountain cap there. Okay, so we have snow and ice. What? Although if I like how ice is in the fluid section, when clearly it's a solid state of water, but anyway. And swamp is also there, even though it contains lots of solids as well. We'll ignore these things. Ice. What can we... Do we finish playing with this? I suppose you can't really mix ice and ash or dust.
No
but,
sunshine.
Ice and metal. Really cold metal. No. Ice stone.
Ah, that's a good one.
Is it? If you mix stone and ice, it makes
Just
snow.
use your imagination.
Ice and water as a drink. A nice cold drink on a hot day. No, also makes snow.
Illustrious.
If you do ice and quicksilver, it just turns into metal. Yeah,
Stand clear. You're on fire.
I am, but these are things I already have. Like ice energy. Snow
What are you
energy.
waiting for?
That's true, I haven't done those things. I assume it doesn't go with bricks or moss. Actually, moss maybe. Snowy moss. Boiler. No, it can't go with a boiler. Fern. Berries and ice. Iced tea,
Just
iced coffee.
use your imagination.
I'm using it, it's not really helping. What happens if a tree gets snow on it? Not much. Okay, so maybe there isn't actually anything to do with these things. Fine. What else do we have, which is maybe a bit newer? Like, I don't know, glass and energy, did we ever do that?
Oh, yes.
A light bulb. I suppose. I bet Einstein turned himself all sorts of colours before he invented the light bulb. Okay, and now we have electronics and technology. Which, I suppose we can't give a light bulb to the treant, because it doesn't care about light bulbs, no.
Come on, creative. Create some.
And with a boiler, no, we probably need more things first. The light bulb moss moment? No. What else we got? Well, we were playing around with this. So, glass, sand. Well, if you put moss and glass together, does it turn into a terrarium?
Come on. What
It
you
does
think?
not. I know. Let's go on. Let's have another hint. Shows you elements that could be created from existing ones. That's an interesting hint to have. Okay, so what if I create electricity? Tell me that's not... Okay, fine. So electricity can be created. It's going to be energy and air, maybe? Probably energy and air, isn't it? Not done that before. And energy.
What a spectacular gift.
That's a storm. Okay, well, we found a storm. Also beats on the house that is built on the rock. Cool. I mean, that's a funky looking storm. Anyway, so now we have storms. If we do like storm and snow, no, like a snowstorm,
mix it all up.
Hailstorm, rainstorm, no, acid storm, acid rain, no. Okay. Well, I assume if we do storm and energy, no, because it was trying to hint us towards lightning. So, like, lightning, I assume it's not going to be a light bulb and air, because that would be weird to mix those two, but, you know, it's talking about lightning. Like, which of these things... Like, energy and something, then. Right? Nothing else is screaming out, apart from the light bulb, a little bit. Energy and steam is plasma.
It's time to think.
Are any of these things, like lightning? Water and energy? Did we do this one?
Oh, bless.
Life. We didn't do water and energy. Anyway, we now have. We learn not for school, but for life. And now, even though we have treants and moss, we now have life. And ferns and stuff. Does ferns count as life? I guess it should do. Cool. This is new. Do I have to do this symbol? Okay. So I can move around and eat things. This is a minigame. This game has a random minigame in it. What's the aim of this minigame? Not to die. Don't get eaten by something bigger. Because I can see much bigger things in the background. I think I ate that thing. What are we going to turn into? Is it just timed? Create an element in the main game to continue. Fish. Oh, okay. So we're at some... We need to... So we've created life. And that's from that screen. So if we create fish, then we can go back there and eat some more things. I see. Well, surely if we just do life and water, that's air. Life and water.
My, oh my.
Weeds. Only gods can make a tree, but I'm in charge of the seeds and the weeds. Okay. Wasn't quite what I was expecting. We do weeds and life.
No, son. Creativity is
turns into reeds. Okay. Without craftsmanship, inspiration is a mere reed shaken in the wind. Is that our swamp or is that something else? I mean, is our swamp somewhere else in the world? Okay, so we now have reeds. I don't know what happens if we add life to reeds. Nothing.
Just mix
Berry
it all
life, coffee life. Nope. We definitely want to try life some more because we want to try and create fish, right? If we do life in the swamp,
what
that creates bacteria. Why did the amoeba cross the road? It was time to split. Was it though? Well, I don't know. Just keep going. Life and bacteria? No.
No sunshine.
And what happens when you... Well, we'll probably start trying to mix those things in a second. I don't know. Life and air turns into birds? bird life. It's probably too basic. Life on Earth is worms.
A prolific approach.
Grass. Okay. Show me the grass. Well, I don't know what I was expecting, but it's definitely greener. So what about life? And we did the swamp already, didn't we? Okay. Life and clay, sand, camels,
What a spectacular
seeds. Just random seeds about the ground. I mean, I would have thought, so if we did life and grass, surely that should be seeds as well. New quests and rewards are available every day, are they? Yeah, there was something on the main menu about, we go back, daily missions, challenges. So what is this? I don't know, I just clicked. Daily missions. So we have to make goal in 15 minutes. Is that the mission? Well, I know how to do that now, don't I? Can I remember how to do it? Oh, it gives me 1 hint plus a reward. So if you're low on hints, then maybe this is a way to get it back. Okay, so can I remember how to do it? Love, fire on earth.
No.
Makes love.
Oh, bless you.
Oh, because it starts you off with that. I can't remember what it was that we did. We need to make stone, so stone and fire make steam.
What a spectacular gift.
Fire. Okay. It was lava and
Just
yeah. So lava and water make stone, and then fire and stone
you
makes
are
metal.
one of a kind, creator.
So that was the mission. Theory attracts practice as the magnet attracts iron. Sure. And on this planet, which is not filled in, I now have metal. But this is my daily challenge. And I've done it now, right? Check. Cool. Oh, now it's unlocked. And it's still the same clock running down. Okay. So now we have to get to plasma. On the same clock? Oh no, this is... I say the same clock. That's just 14 hours to go. And it starts you off at the beginning. Okay, well, if you're ever stuck or confused, when you will get extra hints and extra reward for it. If I go back to the main evolution game that we had going, this is episode 1. And as you could see, there's To the Void, which... So this is on the planet. You then get another video and you go through to Breakthrough, and then there'll be probably some more coming. So it doesn't just stop here with the 100 that we have on the planet. It looks like there's more coming. But also, has that given us some extra, yes, hints? So all of them have gone up by 1 hint, have they? Or did it refresh them? I don't know exactly which numbers it did. And the other thing that the game has is challenges. How's that different? Okay, so daily missions we've seen, but there's also quests. What's quests? Lost Halloween, which, I mean, we're far enough away from Halloween. All these things. Great. Anyway, so this is Doodle God Universe, which is, maybe as the word on the screen suggests, an evolution from Doodle God. It's very much the same game. It's just maybe a more fulfilling package because it has cool 3D elements, nice quotes. It has some very nice sound, some music, but I turned it off because we're, probably going to get notified about that. And yes, it's, as I say, very much the same game, but very slightly different and maybe bigger than it ever was. Who knows? So yes, thanks again to the devs publisher for providing the key. If you like this, please leave a like. If you want to see more like this or other games, then please subscribe to the channel. And yes, thanks for watching, and I hope you have a great day.